Mr. Raby, thank you very much for talking to us again.
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate you being here tonight.
We're a couple of weeks away from the end of this campaign. You've had a long, hard trip to get here.
Yeah.
I want to reprise a couple of topics you were talking about in there.
Okay.
First of all, you were talking about the need to have a representative who can do something for this district. You've had absolutely nothing accomplished for this district in the last 2 years. What are you going to do that's different from your opponent?
Well, the first thing that I'm going to do is stay focused on North Alabama. Once you go to Washington, some people are either consumed or just brought in with Potomac fever, and they get involved in the national politics, the national political debate. There's one thing to be involved in national issues, but to be called national politics and lose sight of where you come from. I can assure you, I've got Tennessee River water running through my veins. I'll never forget where I'm coming from. So I will always stay focused on getting jobs and doing everything we can to keep the Tennessee Valley growing.
All right, and in the same vein, you were talking about some fact-checking that was done by a reporter about all this sort of, I don't want to say negative press, but
well,
press
it was negative press. Yes, it was negative press. I mean, the effort was made to try to drag me into an investigation that's going on in Montgomery. You know, we're not part of that. We haven't been investigated. We're not testified. We haven't done anything. But yet, because PACs are associated, they try to bring me into it. And once this reporter did the fact-checking, on a scale of 1 to 5, they graded me a 5 of 5, which just simply said I was telling the truth. But it didn't stop the negative stories. They say that I told the truth after the fact. That's life.
All right, I have a question for you about TVA, because since the last time you and I talked, TVA has announced that they're going to depend less on coal power, and they're going to bring in more nuclear and renewable energy. If you get to Washington, are you going to help TVA make that transition?
Well, yes, I'm going to work with TVA, but I'm not sure exactly what they mean. I believe what they mean by reducing the level of coal-fired generation, I believe it just as a percentage. What they're going to is some of the additional renewable fuels and nuclear, which will just, even though the same coal-fired production will be going on, it'll be reduced as a percentage of the overall production. I believe that's what they mean. So in terms of looking at new sources of energy, yes, I want to be part of that. We've always got to be looking forward, bringing in new assets, new resources, new technologies. That's the way America has always grown for the future. And we are in the 21st century. We need to start acting like it. We really do.
I got to tell you, it's really, really great coming and seeing all these people here. We were told that this was going to be the year that Democrats were all just going to ho-hum and get whiny and stay home. I don't see it in there.
No, well, you know, this just warms your heart. It's Friday night, there's football games going on, the grandchildren coming around, and to have, I don't know, there were several hundred here. And to come and spend a Friday night with me, that's just, you know, that just overjoys. And not everybody in there is a Democrat, I'll say that. I mean, there's a lot of people that's across the board, and I think we are reaching out to some people that they see us as just focusing on real issues and not partisan politics.
Okay, one more question. Do you describe yourself as a blue dog, and what does that mean to you?
Well, you know, I don't describe myself as a blue dog. I would say that the Blue Dog Coalition has endorsed me.
Okay.
The Blue Dog Coalition, all of the questions that they asked me was simply about deficit reduction. What am I going to do to cut down spending? How are we going to balance this budget? And how are we going to provide for the commitments we've made, like Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid? Those are commitments that have been made to the American people. And we need to find a way to reduce our deficit spending, but not punish those people that have worked a lifetime and paid in and now are there in their senior years. So in terms of Blue Dog endorsement, I got that. Everything was considered. How do we reduce the deficit? And so fiscal constraints is really what they were looking at. I would say overall, I would consider myself more of a traditionalist. I mean, I grew up here, and you know, you grow up on the river, you grow up hunting and fishing, you grow up in church, and it just sort of makes you, you know, a traditional person. Some people call that conservative, some people just call that old-fashioned. I that's not Blue Dog. That's
So,
just me.
so you're not going to install the global socialisms the minute you get there?
I believe I can hold myself back and will not be able to do that.